we talked about Bleach for a while. What about Naruto?
The actual anime itself was we're actually looking up right now.
Yeah.
Lasted up until a certain point, and then you had that weird. This is the original Naruto, the one I actually fell in love with and watched.
The first Naruto series had 220 episodes.
It had 220 episodes.
Now, me and Jeff were both confused as to when the Naruto and Sasuke fight first happened. And officially, the whole conflict starts in episode 107, when Sasuke leaves. But the actual fight in question that we're about to talk about expands out between episode 133 and 134.
It should be the beginning of the Sasuke Naruto fight, which was fabulously done. The choreography,
the animation.
The animation was cranked up to 11. I mean, you even see that with the Grimjaw fight in
Bleach.
In Bleach, and then you see that kind of art style in a few fights in One Piece. One Piece itself does beautiful fights. It's not just when they actually get down to the combat, the fights themselves are gritty. They're just fucking beautiful, in all honesty. Those sound ninjas that is with what's his name? They're actually
Orochimaru.
Orochimaru.
They were the ones. They were the ones that had the same mark as Sasuke, where they could also go into this.
Yeah,
I like to say berserk mode.
It's around this time.
Yeah, then we got
that one. I think it's actually 130 to be precise.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but up to that point, you had the anime follow the manga relatively well, and then after that point, it just goes off into something else, and then you have Shippuden start. Shippuden itself wasn't terrible. Honestly, I like it. I have yet to watch it all.
I liked Shippuden as it started out because it's a coming of age story.
Mm-hmm.
You see Naruto being this punk ass this guy ain't a ninja.
Terrible ninja, by the way.
Terrible ninja. Bright orange. What are you thinking? Thank God they toned down. They still kept the orange. I can tell what they were doing with it.
Also, I'm very glad. I am sad to say this. I love my action animes, but I love the love ones, by the way. I love Hina's actually one of my favorite ones. Yes, I am a girly man. Fuck off. Now, what I was going to say was the love story that actually progresses in the anime. I'm glad they took that shy girl and made her, Hinata, into a very much... She's a badass, in all honesty. What she has done for the series...
All the characters grew up. Oh, Shikamaru.
Shikamaru, the bug guy?
No. He was the one with the ponytail. He was the... Man, this is quite a drag.
Oh, yeah, he dies, too.
Shh. No.
Spoilers.
No.
Well, I'm not actually sure if he dies or not. I'm to assume he dies. I have only heard... It's only hearsay. If you guys want to comment on this later and actually tell us what we're wrong, our facts are wrong, please do. We're critics. We don't always have the answers.
No. But I loved how he evolved. He was a slacker.
He was a slacker.
But
a genius, actually.
A genius, but a slacker. He's kind of like dude. Anyways.
the dude man.
Yeah.
In all honesty, the character I connected with the most is actually Shikamaru because of his laid-back attitude and how smart he actually is.
I also like Rock Lee.
Rock Lee he's adorable in his own way. It's the best way to say. He's got his moments, especially when he gets drunk. I love the drunken fight scene. That was actually one of my favorite scenes in Naruto.
A big homage to Jackie Chan right there.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole joke there, too, by the way, if you had to catch it on it.
Master.
Ha-ha! Spoiler. The Drunken Master, my ass, which is a great series. Good movie.
Good movies. There are two of them.
You had him and how he connects up with the Sand Village woman. I also like how the villages themselves, you end up learning more about them instead of just through the eyes of what was in the original anime.
You see, only as far as I was, my experience, as I said in a previous video, I ended after they revived Gaara from getting his spirit fox taken away from him,
which was interesting.
Yes. Do you think that took away from him, or
no? It actually. If anything, Gaara's character pisses me off the most.
Yeah?
He's an emo. You see them all the time in anime. It's one of the typical characters if you're going to have a sidekick / villain / sidekick / villain again. Sidekick. It becomes...
They gave an example as to why Gaara has that makeup. Well, it's not really makeup, it's insomnia.
Insomnia, but technically it's also the eye makeup of the dragon that's inside of him. Now you have the nine-tailed fox and you have the whiskers on Naruto's face. Most people think that's just some sort of weird
artistic
take on it, but in reality, it actually is the whiskers.
It's interesting. I never thought about it like that. How
Later on, actually.
the foxes, all the fox spirits.
They're not all the fox spirits. When they go into it, I thought that was actually brilliantly done. I loved the idea of there being more fox spirits. I also like the idea of the frogs and the Pervy Sage. Pervy Sage is actually one of my favorite characters because he's hilarious, but he's also badass underneath it. He's also like 92 or some shit like that.
Kind of like older Naruto.
He actually, I know for a fact he does die. I know
he does.
But also the explanation of the eyes. There's all this little. There's those little fine details you see on certain ninjas that in the series that were developed on, which is something they don't do in most anime. Honestly, I mean, most anime lasts 25 episodes most.
Sometimes that can be really good because you got a nice compact story, and if you just want to go into the story, that's great. But if you want to go into the characters, you want to go for the longer anime.
And that's actually some people's argument for, let's say, Case Closed and for One Piece is because...
And Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third is actually fabulous anime. Check it out if you haven't watched it. But as I was saying, though, before we got off on this, that's some people's argument for One Piece, though. One Piece has not just shown you what's in the grand line, it has not just shown you what the emotional and the entire idea behind each one of these characters. You have Luffy, you have the entire One Piece, you have the Straw Hat crew, on top of different admirals in the Navy. You have side characters that have yet to appear. They appeared once in a while and they have gone. Like the young boy in the beginning, the pink-haired young boy.
I know his name. His name is Kobe.
Kobe, later in the series, becomes a complete utter badass.
Well, yeah.
He starts out as a pussy. In all honesty, he cries a lot.
Another coming-of-age story.
Another coming-of-age story. The entire thing is actually kind of coming-of-age story, but you don't learn much about Luffy entirely. You learn more about his crew than you do him. To what I'm to assume. I have yet to watch a lot of the episodes.
For Luffy, we get more of a background of his story through the Ace arc of him trying to rescue his brother Ace.
Spoiler, Ace dies. I feel like hurting you right now, that's why.
I know. I've seen all the episodes up to this point.
I want to watch more of the episodes. I'm only on like 220, 230 right now. I don't entirely know. I know I just got done with that fucking Long Island bullshit, which I do believe was filler. I'm not entirely sure.
Long Island?
It's Long. It's a circle.
Arlong?
No, not Arlong arc. Arlong was interesting, but
yeah, I like Nami.
His brother was awesome.
Ace.
I like learning Ace. I like learning about the other fruits. The idea later in the episodes, because I've read some of the manga, my friends have just shoved it down my throat and said, you need to look at this now. And seeing that some of these enemies, like, who's the clown again?
Buggy the clown. He has the chop fruit.
Buggy the clown, the hook man, the man who's name
Crocodile,
his character himself, he was evil for the sake of he wasn't evil for the sake of being evil. He's got that charismatic evil.
Yeah, Captain Hook.
Captain Hook, obviously. Buggy himself was an interesting character who didn't last very long until the later episodes, and then you see more of him.
What I loved about the Impel Down arc, which was a part of the Rescuing Ace arc, was that it was an homage to Dante's Inferno, the 7 levels of hell. How many levels of hell?
Oh, there's
9?
Dude.
7?
7 circles.
Okay, 7 levels of hell.
There's thousands of different,
anyways. 7 levels of hell, 7 levels of imprisonment, and the further you go down, the more hardcore the criminal is. And as Luffy goes down, he makes acquaintances with old enemies, with Buggy, with Crocodile, which was the most surprising for me. It's like, oh my god, it's Crocodile!
Exactly. I'm kind of not a... The only anime I could say I know inside and out is Bleach right now, because it's the only anime I've followed up to the 300 some odd mark right now. I need to get around to watching One Piece, and that way I can be more fluent in it, but it's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got time.
No, we do. I have lots of time, unfortunately.